The stars were shining brightly across the galaxy. On every planet, every space station, and every colony, there was celebration. The Galactic Alliance, a union of more than 50 alien species, believed they had won their greatest war, the war against humanity. For years, humans had fought fiercely. They were smaller in number, but their spirit was unbreakable. Their technology was clever, their tactics unpredictable. Many alien generals respected the humans, but respect was not enough. The alliance was bigger, stronger, and richer. Slowly, they pushed humanity back. One by one, Earth's colonies fell. Then came the final strike, a massive attack on Earth itself. The news flashed across thousands of worlds. Earth is no more. Humanity has fallen. The galaxy is safe again. Everywhere, people cheered. Giant screens showed fireworks above alien cities. Fleets of warships floated above planets, decorated with banners and lights. On the great capital world of Zelfar, the Supreme Council held a massive parade. Huge creatures danced in the streets. Alien children laughed and threw colorful powders in the air. "We have saved the galaxy," shouted Chancellor Xoreth from a golden balcony. The crowd roared in approval. On the oceans of planet Vora, amphibian aliens performed light shows. In the sky cities of Helion, flying creatures painted the skies with bright colors. On the icy moons of Skarn, miners danced around fires for the first time in decades. For the Galactic Alliance, this was not just a victory. It was a new beginning. A beginning without the fear of humanity. A future without the stubborn and dangerous humans. But not everyone celebrated. General Crackfull, a veteran commander with 3 eyes and a scared face, stood alone at a party. He drank a glass of glowing liquid and watched the celebrations quietly. Something felt wrong. They died too easily, Crackfull thought. Humans never give up. Not like this. He remembered the human commander, Reyes, a man who had once trapped an entire alien fleet using just a few damaged ships and a fake signal. Humans were tricky. Humans were dangerous. Humans were survivors. Crackfull shook his head and turned away. "Maybe I'm just getting old," he muttered. Around him, the party continued. Across the galaxy, no one noticed a tiny event happening far away, on the dark side of Earth's moon. In the silent, empty space where Earth once stood, a small rock spun slowly. Behind that rock, hidden deep underground, a secret station flickered back to life. Lights turned on. Computers booted up. Systems reconnected. A weak, hidden signal shot out into space, so small and silent that even the most powerful scanners missed it. It traveled toward the outer edges of the galaxy, reaching a place no one had looked at for a long time, the human colonies on Mars, Titan, and Europa. Inside the hidden station, an old computer screen blinked. A message appeared. Phase 2. Begin. At the same time, on a secret base deep under Mars, Commander Reyes stood before his soldiers. His face was calm, but his eyes were full of fire. "They think we are dead," Reyes said, his voice strong. "They think they have won." He paused, letting the silence grow heavy in the room. "They are wrong." The soldiers around him tightened their fists. These were the last of humanity's best fighters, men and women who had survived the fall of Earth, who had watched their homes burn, but had never surrendered. "We are not finished," Reyes continued. "We are not defeated." A giant screen behind him showed the Galactic Alliance's celebrations, aliens dancing, singing, laughing. Reyes smiled, a cold, sharp smile. "They are celebrating too early," he said. "They forgot who we are. They forgot what we can do." He turned toward the massive doors behind him. As they opened, hundreds of ships stood ready, sleek, dark, and deadly. Ships built not for defense, but for revenge. "Today, we begin the real war," Reyes said. The soldiers shouted in one voice, a sound that shook the halls. "For Earth." Far away, Across the stars, the Galactic Alliance danced and drank and dreamed of a peaceful future. They had no idea that the real storm was coming. And this time, humanity would not hold back. While the galaxy celebrated, humanity was preparing. Deep under the surface of Mars, inside a hidden fortress called Red Haven, thousands of human soldiers and scientists moved like shadows. Every hall was alive with silent energy. Ships were being fueled. Weapons were being checked. Strategies were being whispered. Commander Reyes walked through the main control center. Around him, giant screens showed star maps and enemy fleet positions. Engineers worked quickly, updating ship systems and weapons. Reyes looked proud, but he knew there was no room for mistakes. Behind Earth's destruction, there was a secret plan, a sacrifice. When the Galactic Alliance attacked Earth, humanity had already evacuated many of its top minds, best soldiers, and secret technologies. They had known that Earth might fall, so they hid. They vanished into the dark corners of the solar system, waiting for the right time. That time had come. In the briefing room, Reyes stood before his officers. "Our mission is simple," he said. "We strike fast. We strike hard. We remind the galaxy who we are." He pressed a button, and a hologram appeared, the alien capital world, Zelfar. "We will start with their pride," Reyes continued. "Their home, their heart." The officers nodded. They had waited years for this moment. Meanwhile, in another hidden base on Titan, Saturn's moon, Admiral Sarah Vance was preparing the second strike force. Titan's surface was covered with thick orange clouds, hiding the human base perfectly. Underneath, submarines and aircraft were being armed. Sarah stood before her captains. Her voice was sharp and strong. "They think we are finished," she said. "Let's show them how wrong they are." The soldiers smiled. They were ready. Farther away on Europa, a frozen moon of Jupiter, Dr. Elias Monroe led the most secret project of all. In a massive underground lab, scientists worked around a huge machine, Prometheus. Prometheus was humanity's last and greatest weapon, an artificial intelligence so powerful that it could break into alien networks, turn their ships against them, and destroy entire fleets without firing a shot. Dr. Monroe watched as Prometheus powered up, its systems humming quietly. "You are the key," Monroe whispered. "You are the future." Back on Mars, Reyes received the first report. A scout ship had silently returned from the edge of the Alliance territory. The news was good. The aliens were still partying. Their defenses were relaxed. Their fleets were scattered. Reyes smiled. "This is our chance," he said. At the same time, a few alien ships did notice strange signals near the edges of their sectors. A junior alien officer on a small patrol ship saw something on his screen, a faint, fast-moving object. He reported it to his captain. "It's probably just debris," the captain said, laughing. "The humans are gone." The officer wanted to argue, but he stayed quiet. It was a mistake that would cost them everything. Inside Red Haven, final preparations began. Pilots climbed into their fighters. Engineers gave thumbs up as engines roared to life. The main fleet, hidden for so long, now started to move. Silent, deadly, unstoppable. Commander Reyes stood at the main command deck, wearing his black combat uniform. His eyes were sharp, his jaw set. "Today we rise from the ashes," he said. Beside him, Admiral Vance appeared on a holoscreen from Titan. "We are ready," she reported. "And Prometheus?" Reyes asked. "Activation in 48 hours," Vance replied. "Once he's online, the galaxy will kneel." Reyes nodded. He turned to his crew. "Begin Operation Phoenix." Across Mars, Titan, and Europa, hundreds of ships lifted off. Hidden by stealth fields, cloaked from alien eyes. They scattered like shadows through space, moving toward their targets. In the great cities of the Galactic Alliance, parties continued. No one knew what was coming. No one saw the storm gathering beyond their stars. But soon, the celebrations would end. Soon, the galaxy would remember the name humanity, not with joy, but with fear. Because hidden in the shadows, Earth's true strike force was awake, and it was hungry for revenge. The human fleet moved like ghosts through space. No lights, no signals, no sounds. Each ship was covered with special black material that made them invisible to scanners. Their engines ran cold, using secret technology to hide heat signatures. To the galaxy's eyes, the humans were nothing more than empty space. Commander Reyes stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Valkyrie. Before him, the stars stretched out like a giant ocean. His fleet, hundreds of ships, traveled silently behind him. All units, status report, Reyes ordered. Silent and ready came the replies from across the fleet. Reyes smiled slightly. Everything was going according to plan. On the alien capital world, Zelfar, celebrations were still wild. Giant holograms danced above cities. Alien leaders gave speeches about a new era of peace. Soldiers partied in the streets, proud of their victory over humanity. But a few military officers were uneasy. At a small defense station orbiting Zelfar, Captain Virax, a four-armed, lizard-like alien, watched his radar screens carefully. He frowned. Something was wrong. He saw tiny flickers, little dots moving too smoothly, too silently. They didn't match any trade ships. They didn't send any ID signals. "Check it again," Virax ordered. His second-in-command laughed. "Probably just debris from Earth. Let it go. Come, join the celebration." Virax hesitated. His instincts screamed danger. But in the end, he turned away. It was a mistake. Meanwhile, the human fleet kept advancing. Inside the Valkyrie's war room, Reyes and his officers studied a 3D map of Zelfar's defense network. "We need to disable their orbital cannons first," Admiral Vance said over the holoscreen. "If they wake up those guns, we'll lose ships." Reyes nodded. "Agreed. We strike fast. No mercy." He pointed to key targets: communication hubs, shield generators, weapon platforms. "Hit them all. No survivors." His officers saluted. The fleet separated into attack groups. Each group had a target. Each group had a deadline. Failure was not an option. At the edge of Zelfar's orbit, the first human attack ships moved into position. Special ops soldiers, trained in zero-gravity combat, floated toward alien stations. Their suits blended with space, making them invisible. One team, led by Captain Aria Chen, reached an enemy satellite. She tapped her communicator once. "Go." Within seconds, her team hacked the satellite system. The satellite shut down, leaving a hole in the planet's defense net. All without a sound. All without an alarm. On the alien defense station, Captain Virax's radar screens suddenly blinked. The dots were gone. He jumped from his chair. Something's wrong. But it was too late. Outside his window, a human stealth bomber uncloaked, just for a second, and fired a silent missile. The station exploded in a brilliant flash, the sound swallowed by the vacuum of space. No distress signal was sent. No warning was given. The humans were still invisible. And now, they were killing. Commander Reyes watched from the Valkyrie. "First station down," reported his tactical officer. "Good," Reyes said calmly. "Continue." All across Zelfar's orbit, human forces attacked silently. Communication towers went dark. Defense turrets stopped working. In less than 20 minutes, the entire outer ring of Zelfar's security collapsed. And still, the people on the planet below celebrated, unaware. Deep inside the Valkyrie, a special signal flashed. Prometheus was waking up. The AI systems connected to human ships, giving them faster reactions and smarter battle tactics. Soon, Prometheus would hack into the alien networks, and then the real destruction would begin. Reyes stood before the giant window of the bridge, watching the alien world below. "They are blind," he said. "They are deaf." He turned to his crew, his voice cold and full of command. "Now," he said, "let's make them bleed." On Zelfar, fireworks exploded in the skies. People cheered. They did not see the tiny black ships breaking through their atmosphere. They did not hear the silent missiles cutting through the air. They did not know death was already among them. Not yet, but they would. Very soon. The galaxy was still celebrating, but in the shadows, humanity was preparing for its first major strike. In the cold vacuum of space, the human fleet moved swiftly towards Zelfar, the heart of the Galactic Alliance. Their movements were calculated, their attacks silent. Everything had been set up for this moment, the opening act of humanity's revenge. Inside the command room of the Valkyrie, Commander Reyes stared at the large screen showing Zelfar's surface. The planet was beautiful with its glowing cities and massive forests, but to him, it was a target, a symbol of everything that had been taken from humanity. "All teams, prepare for Phase 1. Reyes commanded, his voice steady and filled with purpose. His officers responded quickly. "Ready, sir." "We strike at their most vulnerable points first," Reyes said. "Communication hubs, defense grids, and orbital cannons." The plan was simple. Take out the key structures protecting Zelfar. Once they were disabled, the real invasion would begin. But the first blow had to be clean, precise, and swift. On the surface of Zelfar, the celebrations continued. People danced, sang, and enjoyed the false peace they believed they had won. None of them knew that their victory was about to turn into a nightmare. But in the skies above, the silent ships of the human fleet descended without a sound. Their stealth technology kept them hidden, and no one on Zelfar saw the danger coming. The first target was a massive communication hub located in the capital city. It was the central brain of the entire planet's communications. If the humans could disable it, the rest of the planet would fall into chaos. Captain Aria Chen and her team led the attack. Their stealth ship glided silently towards the hub, its dark hull blending perfectly with the night sky. "Ready?" Aria whispered into her comms. Her team, all trained for quiet, efficient strikes, responded with a simple affirmation. They landed near the base of the hub, their suits blending in with the shadows. Using their advanced hacking devices, they silently infiltrated the building, bypassing alien security systems and disabling guards without making a sound. Within minutes, the entire hub was under their control. Phase 1 complete, Aria reported, her voice calm but filled with adrenaline. "We've cut them off from the outside world." "Perfect," Reyes replied. "Now for Phase 2. Back on the Valkyrie, the fleet was moving in. The first wave of attack ships dropped out of stealth, revealing their deadly presence to the alien defenses. The fleet's target was the orbital cannon stations, the powerful weapons that protected Zelfar from attacks from space. The humans hit hard and fast. Without the communication hub, the aliens were scrambling to respond. The orbital cannons fired wildly, missing their targets as the human ships moved with incredible precision. One by one, the cannons fell silent. As each station was destroyed, the humans grew bolder. They knew the galaxy would soon learn that humanity was far from defeated. The galaxy had thought Earth was destroyed, that humanity had fallen. But now, it was clear, humanity was alive and stronger than ever. The leader of the Galactic Alliance, Chancellor Xoreth, was still celebrating on Zelfar when the first alarms rang. "Alert! Alert!" A voice crackled through the speaker. "We've lost communication with our defense stations. The orbital cannons have been disabled." Xoreth's face turned pale. His mind raced. "Impossible," he whispered. "How could they?" His officers scrambled, trying to make sense of the attack. But it was too late. The damage was done. Humanity had taken its first victory. "Send all ships to the defense grid," Xoreth ordered, his voice filled with panic. "We need to stop them now." But the humans were already ahead of him. As the alien fleets scrambled, the human ships had already completed their mission. The first phase was a success, and now the second phase was about to begin. Back in space, the Valkyrie was preparing for the final stage of the strike. All units, prepare for Phase 2, Rice commanded. This was the most important phase, the actual invasion of Zelfar. The humans would hit the capital city itself, storming through its defenses and pushing the aliens to their knees. The battle for the planet had begun. "Let's show them what happens when they underestimate humanity," Rice said, his eyes hard with determination. As the human fleet advanced toward the surface of Zelfar, a sense of calm washed over the crew of the Valkyrie. They had done their job. Now, it was time for the galaxy to feel the true power of humanity. And they would not stop until Zelfar had fallen. Back on Zelfar, the capital city was in chaos. The aliens were scrambling, trying to organize their defense, but without communication, they were lost. No one could coordinate the defense properly. Ships were scattering, running blind. Then the human assault began. Hundreds of small, fast attack ships streaked through the atmosphere, raining down fire on the alien cities. Each ship dropped bombs and fired lasers, tearing through the buildings and defenses. The city trembled as explosions rocked the streets. "Attack!" Area Chen shouted as she led her team into the heart of the city, armed with weapons that cut through alien armor like paper. For the first time in years, humanity was not on the run. They were in control. The battle for Zelfar was just beginning. As explosions ripped through the streets of the capital city, the once proud people of the Galactic Alliance started to realize the truth. Humanity was back, and they were not here to negotiate. On the surface of Zelfar, chaos erupted. Alien citizens fled in panic as human attack ships rained down fire. The human soldiers moved through the city like a storm, cutting down alien defenses with ease. Commander Rice watched from the bridge of the Valkyrie, his eyes cold and focused. The first phase of the attack had been successful. Now, the ground forces were making their move, pushing deeper into the heart of the planet. "We have control of the central district," Area Chen reported from the surface. "The main government buildings are within our reach." Reyes nodded. "Keep moving. No mercy." In the Galactic Alliance's command center, panic began to spread. The once proud leaders who had celebrated humanity's supposed destruction now scrambled to organize a defense. Their communications were down, their orbital defenses destroyed, and their fleets were being torn apart by the sudden, unexpected assault. Chancellor Xoreth paced in his war room, his mind racing. The reports were coming in faster than he could process. His fleet was in disarray, the capital was under attack, and humanity was everywhere. No one had expected this. "Send reinforcements. Send everything we have." Xoreth shouted to his officers, but the fear in his voice was clear. The battle was slipping out of his hands. He turned to his generals. "This is not a normal attack. These humans, they planned this. They're more powerful than we thought. We have underestimated them," General Tarak, an insect-like commander, said quietly. "The humans have learned. And now they are fighting back with everything they have." Xoreth slammed his fist on the table. "I don't care. We will stop them. We have to stop them now." But deep inside, even he wasn't sure if it was possible. On the ground, Area Chen and her team pushed through the city's central district, the heart of Zelfar's government. Alien soldiers rushed to intercept them, but they were no match for the trained humans. Area's team moved quickly, clearing each building and securing the area. The human speed and precision were unmatched, and the aliens were falling behind in their attempts to defend. "We've reached the main palace," Area reported. "We're about to breach the inner sanctum." Rise looked at the map in front of him. The palace was the symbol of the Galactic Alliance's power. If they could capture it, it would be a massive blow to the Alliance's morale. But more importantly, it would give humanity control of the planet. "Do it," Rise said. "Capture the palace. Back in space, the human fleet continued to wreak havoc. Without the orbital cannons to defend them, the alien ships were sitting ducks. The human ships darted in and out of the battle, taking out enemy vessels with deadly precision. The larger alien warships were slow and lumbering compared to the humans' fast, nimble attack craft. On the Valkyrie, Raya's tactical officer watched the battle unfold. "We've taken down 80% of their fleet, sir. It won't be long before their remaining ships are completely disabled." Reyes nodded. "Keep pushing. The Alliance will remember this day for the rest of its existence." Back on Zelfar, inside the palace, chaos reigned. Alien soldiers desperately tried to fight back, but the humans were everywhere. Arya led the charge, her gun blazing as she cleared the hallways. They had reached the throne room, the heart of the Alliance's power. "This is it," Arya said, a fierce determination in her eyes. "Once we take this place, it's over for them." As her team pushed forward, a last-ditch effort from the Alliance came. The doors to the throne room slammed shut, and alien soldiers poured in, hoping to stop the humans. But they were no match for the human soldiers. Arya's team fought with unmatched skill, and the aliens quickly retreated, leaving the humans to seize control of the palace. "This is Reyes," a voice crackled over the comms. "We have secured Zelfar's heart. The planet is ours." In space, the last of the alien warships were destroyed. There was no longer any hope of stopping the human assault. The Galactic Alliance had been shattered. The war they thought they had won had turned into their worst nightmare. As the human ships stood victorious above Zelfar, Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valkyrie, staring down at the burning planet below. The battle had been fierce, but humanity had won. And now, they would show the galaxy that the true power of humans had only just begun. "We are no longer the hunted," Reyes said, his voice filled with pride. "We are the hunters, and the galaxy will learn to fear us." On Zelfar's surface, the once vibrant cities were now in ruins. The alien citizens were terrified. They had thought the war was over. They had celebrated their victory, but now, all they had was destruction. The humans had come from nowhere and struck with the fury of a storm. But their revenge had just begun. Zelfar was broken. The capital was in ruins. Fires burned in every district, and the once proud cities were now nothing more than smoldering piles of rubble. The humans had taken the planet by force, and the Galactic Alliance had been shattered. But Commander Reyes wasn't done yet. Standing on the bridge of the Valkyrie, he looked out at the devastation below. Zelfar was now a symbol of what happened when the galaxy underestimated humanity. "We've done it," Admiral Vance said, his voice full of pride. "Zelfar is ours." Reyes nodded, but his mind was focused on something else. He knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. The Galactic Alliance would not forgive the loss of their most important world so easily. They would retaliate. But humanity was ready. On Zelfar's surface, the remaining alien forces were disorganized and weak. The humans had already taken control of key military installations, and the alien resistance was collapsing. But the real challenge was yet to come. The remnants of the Galactic Alliance still had one final weapon: the Exarith fleet, the most powerful warships ever built, hidden in deep space. "We need to secure the planet," Reyes said, turning to his officers. "The battle is won, but the war is far from over." "Agreed," Admiral Vance replied. "We've secured most of the planet, but the Alliance will send everything they have. We need to prepare." Far away, deep in the heart of the galaxy, the Exarith fleet was ready. The massive warships, each one capable of wiping out entire fleets, were under the command of Chancellor Exarith. Despite his defeat on Zelfar, he still believed humanity could be crushed. The Alliance's pride had been wounded, but not broken. "The humans are strong," Soreth said to his fleet commanders, "but they cannot survive the Exarith fleet. We will show them what true power is." He gave the command. The fleet was ready to jump into the battle. Back on Zelfar, Rise knew the Alliance would not give up so easily. He turned to his strategic officers. "We need to send a message," Rise said. "Not just to Zelfar, but to the entire galaxy. Humanity is no longer weak. Humanity is no longer the prey. We are the hunters." He ordered a final broadcast, a message that would echo across the galaxy. In the dead of space, the Exareth fleet made its way toward Zelfar. Massive ships, bristling with weapons and shielded by the most advanced technology, sped toward the planet. As they approached, they were met by a silence, the silence of a waiting storm. Raya's plan was in motion. On the Valkyrie, Raya's officers worked quickly. The message was being prepared. It would be a simple, powerful broadcast, one that would change the course of the galaxy forever. As the Exareth fleet entered Zelfar's orbit, the humans struck. The remaining human ships, equipped with the latest technology, moved in from every angle. They were outnumbered, but they were faster, smarter, and more determined than ever before. The Exareth fleet fought back fiercely, but it was no use. The humans had prepared. The humans had learned. The humans had evolved. In the skies above Zelfar, human ships tore through the alien warships with surgical precision. The Exareth fleet, despite its size and power, could not keep up. One by one, their ships were destroyed. As the last of the Exareth fleet was wiped out, Rais stood on the bridge, staring at the glowing destruction below. It was over. The Galactic Alliance had fallen. The humans had won. But this victory wasn't just about Zelfar. It wasn't just about a single planet. It was about the message that humanity was sending to the galaxy. The final broadcast was sent. Across the galaxy, every communication device, every ship, every station tuned into the broadcast. And there, they heard the voice of Commander Rais. "This is humanity's final message. We are no longer the weak, the hunted, the forgotten. We are the new power of the galaxy. No longer will we kneel. No longer will we beg. The galaxy belongs to those who fight, and humanity fights harder than anyone." The message ended with one final powerful statement. "Beware the humans. We are not just survivors. We are conquerors." In that moment, the galaxy understood. Humanity was no longer a fragile species to be destroyed. They were a force to be reckoned with, a force that would no longer be ignored. And as the message echoed across the stars, the galaxy trembled. The age of humanity had begun.